Okay, so here's something that's very important to do whenever you set up a MODX website. This is probably one of the first things I recommend you do to get things configured correctly. Um, a lot of times what happens is we'll create template variables, for example here, where the client can upload maybe a PDF or an image. The problem is the default in MODX um, is to show in the manager, it shows you everything in the root directory, like assets, connectors, core manager. Well, that's a bad thing because you don't want your clients in there getting into, the connectors at the core, the manager. They need to be kept in a certain directory. What I like it to do is create a directory called client files. You can put images, and you can put, like for example, PDF. So, for example, I'll create one called PDF here, and now it has images in PDF. So the good thing is you keep your client restricted to just this area, so they're not getting into anything else and making a mess. So here's how you do it. What you do is you simply come over to Tools and you go down to Media Sources. And what we're going to do is we're going to define in MODX for template variables how to force basically the user into a specific directory. Now we already have image template variables set up here, and let's take a look at this real quick. And what we'll do, you can kind of see how this is set up, and we'll set up another one to kind of walk you through the process. Let's take a quick look at how this was set up. It's called Image TV, and if you take a quick look, what you'll notice is it's using a source type as file system. And what we're doing is we're defining these directories right here in these two spots. The rest of it you can leave alone. Now, once you have that set up, what you do is you simply come over to Elements, and in your template variables, whenever you're creating a new template variable, you want to assign that template variable to this media source. Now, I just found sidebar image here, and I am going to come over here to Media Sources, and I'm going to update this. I double click on it, and then I choose Image TV, and I save it. Now, the specific example that we're looking at, let's look at this one, for example. This is the About page. Okay, so let's come over here. Let me reload this since we made the change. Now, this image should be broken, or basically we're going to have to redefine this. Let me see here. Let me pause this real quick, make sure I have this set up correctly. Okay, so this file path, it's trying to go and grab it, but we changed where we're putting the images. So we have to update this. So let's just go ahead and delete this out. And now when we open this, it's going to dump us right into this image directory. Right now there's nothing in here. So let's go ahead and upload the one that we just had a second ago. That was the, where was that? I think it's the About. Let me see here. It's on the desktop. Oh, it's History. It's called History. Okay. So it's right there, History. Now it's going to upload it, and we'll close this. And sometimes you have to kind of refresh this to get this to show up in here. And there's the image that we just uploaded. It's called History. I'm going to delete this one. This was a test one that I created. So we'll go ahead and click this, and it's going to be loaded in. Sure enough, it's going to show up. And let's come over here to the page right here, and we'll do a quick refresh. And sure enough, there it is. It shows up. Okay. Now, on some of the pages, let me see. I think we're also using, for example, let me see here. I think we're using, let me pause this real quick. We're doing PDFs. Let's walk through the process of setting up this exact thing for PDFs. Okay, I came over here to in this particular case, we have a stretching machine right here. And we have, by the way, we need to update this as well. This is going to be broken, all these images in this page, because we just went through and changed it. But let's look at a PDF. Say, for example, there's a brochure file that they can download. Here's how you would go about it. Let's set this up real quick in Media Sources for PDFs. So what we'll do is we'll come back over here to Tools. We'll go to Media Sources. And we already have one for images, how we define it. So I'm going to call this one, I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it PDF TV. And the source type will be file system. And we'll save it. And then we'll come over here and define these values. And we'll go ahead and go to update this. I did a right click and then update. Now, a second ago we saw that we're using a file path, and we'll just go back over to it and copy the one that we're using. so that we can match these up the same. We'll do the same pretty much directory as image TV, except we're going to change, instead of images, it will be PDF. So I'm just copying that, and we just set up a second ago PDF. And let's see, oops, I think on this example we need to put a trailing slash there. Okay, so if we come over here on the server, and let's just take a quick real quick look, and we have PDF right there, it's already in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this here. Let's just make sure that we line up like the other one did. See, everything's good there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save this, and now we have a PDF TV. So the exact same thing as I was explaining a second ago. Let's come over here. We need to now update these template variables that have already been created for PDFs to have a file path of PDF. So this one's called brochure file. Let's go over here to elements, and we'll go to that template variable, and let's see what category is this in. This is in featured, so let's grab that real quick. Brochure file, there it is. And let's go and let's see, we'll update the media source to PDF. There we go. We'll save that. So now what you'll have to do is you'll have to go through, in this particular case, you'll have to go back inside and update all the images and links PDFs, because these are all going to be changed to different directories. But hopefully that makes sense why we did this. Again, the whole goal of setting up media sources is that you restrict your users to a very specific area so that they don't get into things and mess things up. So in this case, see, there's no PDFs in here, it's empty, so you have to upload those. But if we go into this directory where we have images, oops, see, this one needs to be updated as well, featured. So let's go over here real quick, and this is going to be featured, and we'll go to featured image, and we will update the media sources to be image TV. We're going to save it, and let's refresh this page real quick so that we can see here. Give this 1 second. Okay, yeah, so featured image, we're going to have to update that. It's not going to, it's right now there's, it's going to be, there's nothing in there because we have to now move that image into there. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, this is a whole process of setting up media sources to make sure that you're confining or that we're keeping the user in a specific directory so they don't get into things they shouldn't be.